Meet you too. Thank you, Nirmal, for inviting me.
We congratulate Seema for selection in IBM as an associate engineer, and we
It's
hope
amazing.
for
Thank you
best
so
for
much.
best for your future, and blessings from my side that you will do rapid growth there and have a very
Thank you so
progressive
much.
career.
Thank you.
Wasim, I just want to ask something that when I just heard a name, Bash Woman, it was really excited for me that what's the concept or what's the story behind Bash Woman?
Okay, so I like Linux and I use terminal bash. So I thought it will be cool. So that's how I created the name.
Okay, most of the students, whether we see in engineering colleges also, they prefer Windows as an operating system. So, what do you suggest from your side that uh, what's the importance using Linux?
That depends on the work they are doing, what field they have chosen for them. So if they are into web development or Android, so Windows would be fine. But in case of containerization like Docker, Ansible, so I think Linux will be the best option for them.
Okay, and Seema, I just want to
Could you
ask.
please share your
Seema, I just want to ask how you think yourself and for other girls who are in tech, what are the opportunities as we are doing in our sessions that we did three sessions in the past. This is our fourth session, and
Yes,
we are
yes,
inviting girls who are in at various positions. That means they are in engineering colleges. They have cracked some internships, some competitions, and as you have just been selected in IBM, you will go and join that. So, what do you think? What's importance for the girls or the women in tech? How they just take it as a challenge? What are the opportunities from them?
uh, I guess we have to work a little bit more harder than the male. So we have to keep growing. I'm not really partial about the gender, but it's fact that we have more challenges than male. So opportunities are various because companies are promoting women in tech a lot. So there are a lot of open source programs that are running throughout the year. So uh, these are really great and you can easily apply for that. But first, open source contributions are really important for
Okay,
that.
so this session is based upon open source. So definitely students will
Yes,
get a, a brief knowledge about what exactly an open source is, how it will help in your academics or whether in your future perspective regarding company. What softwares are called
yes,
as open source softwares, what contribution they can give in open sources. So there are many things here. In our college,
yes.
actually, we are using Moodle as an open source software, and we used to conduct online examinations on Moodle. I'm
Okay.
yeah, I am handling that section of the Moodle because during a lockdown period, we used to have online mid-semester exams for the students, and in fact,
Yes.
so for that purposes, we are using Moodle as an open source.
Okay.
So
I
definitely,
think I heard about that.
yeah. Host, you want to ask something?
yes, sir. So I'm having one question to ma'am. Could you please share your journey from the starting of first year till becoming a best woman?
Uh, there is a lot
Could
of
you
noise.
Chinmay? at your end.
Yes, sir. So, am I audible? Am I not audible?
Wait.
So, am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible, but some background noise is there. Can you mute your mic? Anamika is asking something.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I would like you to share your experience, means from the first year student girl till now, till the tech West woman, and you are a good YouTuber. I had seen your
Okay.
videos. Your videos are so nice. So I want you to
Okay.
guide me.
Okay. So uh, I will tell my story at the end of the session. Will it be okay?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, what you had done different to be means now you're different. Something different, unique
Uh,
you had done in the
uh,
college.
I don't know. There's nothing unique because everything is already there. But uh, let's see. I don't know what's different that I did. So after I tell my story, so you can predict what I did something different. So maybe
Excuse me, ma'am.
yes. Soumya, yes, you can ask.
A very good morning, ma'am. Uh, Sorry, I'm so sorry, not ma'am. I'm very a very good morning, Miss Seema Saharan. Actually, I want to ask a
Thank you.
very small question that there are some courses offered by IBM during the lockdown period. So, is they are
Yes.
applicable for the first year students also, or they are only being done by the second, third, or fourth year students as well? Well?
Okay, according to me, you can do any course at any time, so it's not mandatory. It's just that you understand those things. That's it. Clear your fundamentals, and after that, only go to the higher level. Like if you want to go in machine learning, do learn Python. Without that, you won't be able to, understand machine learning algorithms better.
Hello, Seema. This is Chinmay. Actually, I
Yes,
just
Chinmay.
want to ask, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. I will not call you ma'am. I will call you
That's okay.
Seema.
That's okay.
Ma'am, sorry. Seema, actually, I am from EC branch and I don't have any knowledge about coding or any language such as Java, C or C++. So, ma'am, what I can do to pursue open sources nicely without knowing any coding language?
Without, okay, so there are a lot of things in open source. It's not just about coding. There is documentation, there is designing, and I will share some sources. Let me share that first. Okay, so I have dropped a link in the chat. If you see, Fedora is an open source project. So if you see this website, there are a lot of roles that you can contribute to. Content writer, designer, people person, or even when you organize any event in open source. So that is also a contribution. But mainly we consider on the code, but that's not about it. Okay. So there is a lot going on in the open source. Okay, Fedora is a Linux operating system based on Linux operating. Yeah.
Hello, Seema. This is Anamika. Uh,
Yes.
just now, yes. while answering Soumya and Chinmay, you had said that in different fields like machine learning, graphics. So we are not having deep knowledge about all. So how to select a topic means not a topic, a particular field to get in.
Okay, so when I was in, that's related to my story. So when I was in my first year, I guess I spent my 2 years of engineering in exploring what fields I will go into. So I explored cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, coding, everything that you can think of. So I did a lot of research, but I finally found that DevOps and cloud computing are for me. So that is more of a development part. So I'm not a very much good coder, but I am interested in the development part. So it's okay if you spend your 2 or 3 years in exploring your field of interest, but um, don't waste too much time into one thing. If it's working, then surely go for it. If you are interested in web development, go for it. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube or resources on Google that will explain how you can uh, start any field like web development, machine learning, etc. So I
Okay, ma'am.
think, according to me, BTech is all about exploring your field of interest.
Excuse me, ma'am. Uh,
Yes,
Ma'am, actually, you are a bit more familiar with the Linux operating system. I mean, you use that for your
yes,
particular
yes.
stuff. So, on what criteria did you prefer to use Linux operating system on comparison to Windows? I mean, apart from that, that is the free operating system and all that. What are next
Okay,
criteria
okay.
which you can get to operate Linux operating system better than Windows operating system?
Okay, so I use Windows as my base system, and in my VirtualBox, I have many virtual machines for Linux. So, why I use that is basically the development part in companies is mainly done on Linux systems. So, if you see cybersecurity, DevOps, cloud computing, mainly these things are on Linux side. So, the main thing is about security because in company we can't compromise with security. And the best example is that a few months back, Elon Musk has done a mission. I don't remember exactly, but he used a Linux operating system because uh, the main thing is Windows start updating itself. I don't know, just out of the box. It's just a surprise for us. It start updating itself, and in Linux, it doesn't do that. It doesn't require a reboot. So there are many criterias. That's why I choose Linux for my work. Other than that, yes, I use Windows too.
Recently, ma'am, SpaceX has crashed.
I am not sure. I don't follow SpaceX.
No issues, ma'am.
So it's 12:02. So I would like to start the event. So good afternoon. Good afternoon,
Uh,
everyone. Today we are
Anamika,
going to speak.
I think some are also joining. I think we should wait for 2 minutes only.
Okay, we will start at 12:05.
Okay.
Seema, before starting our session, I just want to ask, or just want you to please suggest something to the students that uh, what should they do during their engineering period, and how they just manage things with institute, and because I just seen most of the students are very hopeless, or they are not being in such kind of guidance or motivation that they should do this something, it's about internships or facing competitions. They always have some trouble with related to coding and other things. So
Okay.
how they should get motivated? How should they interact with the faculties, with the seniors, with others? So what do you think?
Okay, so according to me, the motivation comes within yourself. So you must have some aim to achieve. That's how you get motivated. So there is not a particular trick, but what you can do is I have saw a TED talk a few days ago. So I will share that if I find the link. Uh, so about that TED talk is, if you want to become something, like if you're dreaming that you will be some developer or some CEO of some company, so you must fake it till you become it. Okay, so if you are not comfortable with facing the camera, if you are not comfortable with speaking with someone, pretend that you are really confident, and after some time you will definitely realize that yes, you have become that person. So I was really afraid of delivering talks and writing blogs or even participating in hackathons. So uh, last year, so pandemic was really beneficial for me, at least. So I started everything that I couldn't do in my BTech, and it's all about taking risks. And yeah, what you want to become, you must take risks. You must come out of your comfort zone. That's the best thing, and after that you will find the motivation to do the work.
Thank you so much, Seema. It was a lovely. Sorry, sir. It was a network issue in my side. Sir,
That's okay.
should we start the session, sir? Nimal, sir.
Yeah, host, it's up to you.
So, okay, I am starting the session. I think there are many participants who have joined. Okay, so I am starting the session. A very good afternoon to our special guest, Seema, our Nimal sir, and all the amazing ones who have joined the session. I heartily welcome you all in this amazing in this amazing webinar. And now I want Anamika to take over for further details. Anamika.
Yes, thank you, Chinmay. So, good afternoon, all of you. Today we are having a special session with a special orator with Seema Saharan, hashtag Wesh Woman. She is a associate system engineer, IBM, and a YouTuber, a open source contributor, a technical blogger, Red Hat certified engineer. She is going to lead us in this session of opportunity with open source. Now I would like to welcome Seema to start the presentation.
Thank you so much, Anamika, Chinmay, and Nirmal. So I will just start presenting I lost my connection. I think my screen is visible to all.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Okay, so hello everyone. This is about open source. So, as open source suggests, it is limitless opportunities with a lots of learnings. So, okay, so I will explain everything that I know about open source, and that will be beneficial for you all. And before jumping to the main session, I will introduce myself. I am Seema Saharan, Associate System Engineer at IBM, YouTuber, open sourcer, speaker, mentor, and you can see that it's a long to dictate. So I'm Auth Zero ambassador too. So now, what is open source software? When we discuss about what is open source, we mainly discuss about what open source software. So there are four main things about open source. Number one is that it's public. That means you can see the source code of that a particular application or particular operating system, and you can. Second point is modify. You can modify the source code according to your need. I mean, if you want to change, if you see that there is a little bug, or you want to update some feature in some particular repository on GitHub, so you can do that. Next is distribute. After modifying, you obviously need to distribute the code, because open source softwares are used by millions and billions of people. Okay, and the fourth one is utilize. Allow the program to be utilized for any purpose the user wants. So this quote is by Linus Torvalds, who is the creator of Linux kernel. Okay, so there is one thing that whenever we talk about Linux, we talk about Linux kernel, not the operating system, because Linux is a kernel, and whatever distributions we have, like Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, you may have used that. So these are all Linux distributions. So he says in real open source, you have the right to control your own destiny. I I don't think you will agree right now, because you may not aware of open source, but if you do, then you will definitely relate to that. So what we can learn from open source? Number one is that collaboration with the experts. Okay, so open source, as I told you, open source softwares are used by millions and billions of people around the globe. So if you participate in some open source event, or you, let's suppose you contribute to some code, you get to know a lot of people with same interests or even different interests. That's how you explore various technologies. So collaboration in tech is really, really important. You will realize this importance, I mean, after BTech or during your BTech journey. Next is sharing. So I always prefer sharing my knowledge. So the best thing about open source is it it allows you to share your learnings with others. Okay, so if you let's suppose you are writing a blog on some technology, and that blog will definitely reach to some people. So this is also a kind of open source contribution. Okay, and if you write some documentation for any software, so that means it is open source contribution, and your documentation will be read by many people. Okay, third is learning. Obviously, whenever we jump in any tech, so we always see that there must be some learning we get. So in open source you get a lot of learning. I will explain everything. So this is the main thing that I got from open source. You may have heard about tutorial hell. Okay, so in my BTech, I did this. I was in my tutorial hell. So I guess maybe you are all in tutorial hell, maybe. So what is tutorial hell is, you are just binge watching tutorials, like you are watching for Python and you are not doing something, or maybe you are, but you can't make some project out of that, out of your learning. Okay, so the best way to get out of that hell, that tutorial hell, is open source. Because in open source you don't just learn things, but you apply that. Okay, next is opportunities. Okay, so that was the main theme of this talk, that what are the opportunities for you all. So GSOC is really approaching, and if you are already a open source contributor for like a long time, so you can definitely apply for that. There is also Girl Script Summer of Code running, so you can apply for that, I guess, if the applications are open. Next is GSword. What's that? GSword is Google's season of dogs. Okay, that means if you don't like coding, if you don't like to write code, and like me almost, so you can definitely try GSword, because it's based on documenting the softwares. So if you're really good at documenting stuff, so this programming is really for you. It begins after GSOC. GSOC is there. Third one is Outreachy. So Outreachy is only for girls. So definitely you can apply for that. The applications are open in the end of every year. Okay. So I have some open source programs. So I will share this link. Okay. I will share the link after the session. Okay, so a few months ago, I googled that how many open source projects are there. Okay, so we must know that the power of open source. So I googled that, and I found out that there are 180K plus open source projects available. So that's, I guess, a huge amount, and that's why there are lots of opportunities for you in open source. So I will just now explain, uh, there is not more in the PPT, but I will just explain. Okay, so okay, so my experience in open source was like, I have already explained in many of my YouTube videos that how I got into open source, but I will explain it because maybe you all haven't seen my videos. So uh, I have heard about open source many a times in my BTech, but the main thing that was not right was there was no guide that could really teach me that what is open source, how you can, what you can do with open source. Okay, so that was the main problem. But after lockdown, I just started again that I need to contribute some open source in this year, definitely. Okay, so I started exploring. I literally don't know what was pull request, what is GitHub, what is Git. Okay, so I was that unaware of these things. So I learned Git first. After that, I got to know about that there are many things in open source. So I finally got to know about the pull request, and I made a contribution in GitLab documentation. So my first contribution was for a document. So uh, next is, okay, so after that I thought that I was literally afraid of coding. So I was not good at coding. So I improved my coding skills first, and then I apply. Then I contributed to some codes, and then I participated in some events. There was student coding, so I participated in that. It was a 2 month long, just like Google Summer of Code. So I was in the top 25 contributors there, and after that I was a mentor at some events. So that's how it goes. So it just start with a single thing and just lead to many things after that. So the main thing is you just have to start. Okay, so starting is really tough and also important at chat for. Okay, Devesh has a question. Yes, WhatsApp is not secure, but according to me, we were not secure a few years back also. So we are using Facebook, Instagram. So WhatsApp is not really different because they already have our data. Okay, and it's not the data, it's metadata, data about data. So they don't find all of your data, but they refine your data so that the company can make profit. So that's how it goes. They don't see your chats all the time. uh, I use Telegram and WhatsApp also. So I switched to Signal, but there was not a single connection of mine, so I just deleted that account. So Anamika. Okay. So I will share the open source programs list. Okay. Maybe you have maybe you should be curious about Google Summer of Code because that's really famous. Okay. So uh, there are myths. There are various myths about Google Summer of Code, that this is an internship. So it's not an internship. Uh, there are many things. Okay. So whatever I will say, so that's already explained in Code for Course video. So yes, do check out uh, Code for Course YouTube channel. So the speaker is Kunal Kushwaha. So he was my mentor before I started all of this. So he already explained what are the things that you need to know about Google Summer of Code, and what people have made it wrong, the myths in the market. Okay, so you must have heard about Aman Dhattarwal. So he kind of misguided many people. So uh, I don't prefer watching him. So don't. So whenever you ask someone that do tell me about Google Summer of Code or Outreachy or any other open source program, so do check that they have worked they have worked previously on that thing. So they must be a G Soccer. Okay. And uh, they must have gone in some open source programs. Okay, so they must have done some open source contributions. Other than that, don't listen to anyone else who has not done anything in that field. And after knowing that, do research on Google. Google is already there, so do research. Don't listen to anyone. Okay. And even if I am saying these things, don't believe in me, just Google it. You will find everything. The main thing is that you just need a guide, that these things are available in the market, these things you need to know. After that, you must research on your own. That's how you will grow. So I used to do that, and I do that now in my job too. So you must be curious about things. That's how you can keep going in tech. So there is no thumb rule that you need motivation or anything, but it comes within yourself. That's it. uh, Any question? Um, Anything I missed? So you can ask me that.
Mom,
Anyone
how
having
to
any
start
question
working?
can ask. Yeah, Anamika, go ahead.
Mom, how we can start? Sorry, Seema, we can start in first year? Means we are not having a particular knowledge very deep knowledge in particular. Uh, I can say programming language. So, is I am capable of doing contribution in open source?
Yes, there are various programs. You must have heard about Hacktoberfest. So this is like the program for beginners. So if you haven't, like you said, that you are not really into open source, you haven't done anything in open source. So you can start with open source, and also just remember that you don't need any kind of program to start contributing in open source. So don't depend on some program that when Hacktoberfest will start, I will start contributing to open source. That's not how it works. And also, if you are not really familiar with any programming language, that's okay. You can learn side by side, make your own open source project, and invite some of your friends to contribute to that. So that's how it works. That's all about collaboration. You can make a open source project in your own class or in your own college. You just need
Mom, can
a
you
GitHub
please tell how
account.
to use Git and GitHub?
Okay, so um, there are a few courses that you can take. It's really easy. You just there are courses on Coursera. There is a YouTube free course that is by Free Code Camp, so you can check the whole video. So it's a playlist or it's a whole video. I don't remember, but they are really good. So you can learn Git and GitHub from there. And learning Git and GitHub will really help you because um, when you get into job, uh, the main thing they look is for the version control system, that is Git. So that is really important to learn. So do that. Okay, so Kishle Singh is asking, what are the prerequisite skill to start open source development? Okay, there are not many prerequisites, but you can start with documentation. And if you are really a beginner in some coding, so you can start contributing, because there are many open source projects that are just for the beginners. And you will find many open source repositories that are related to algorithms in Python or algorithms in any programming language. So if you don't know these, you can learn from that. Okay, so let's suppose you want to do some program in binary search tree or something. So just start googling and just write some code on your favorite editor or your favorite IDE. That's how you will learn. So there are no prerequisites. You can learn side by side too. That's how I did. Devesh is asking, in what terms Telegram, being an open end app, is safer and more protected than WhatsApp? Uh, about WhatsApp, I know the policies, but I haven't read about Telegram. But Signal is really safer. I have seen that. So Signal just uses your contacts, and WhatsApp uses your account information and all. So right now, WhatsApp has launched about the payments option. So yes, they collect your information. So still, we are using WhatsApp. So what can we do? Yes, I use Telegram. Yes, I use. Ma'am, do we need to know about many programming language and frameworks, or we can do it just by anyone? Suppose I'm learning web development, including frameworks, but do I need to? Okay, so for open source, it really depends on the project you are contributing to. So you don't have to learn many things. You don't have to learn 20 or 30 programming language. Just there must be one programming language that you are confident with. That yes, Python is the main language that I can contribute to. Okay, so that's the main thing. Just one programming language. That's it. I just use Python. I work in Python. I don't go for another language. But in future, if I get a chance to learn some language, I will definitely do that. You must be open to learn, but there must be one programming language or one domain that you must what do we say that you are confident with. So no need to learn many things. React is really good in web development and it's open source. So yes, if you learn about React, so maybe in the future after some years you can start contributing to React. Or okay, so the main thing is we are just afraid of contributing to open source because we feel that it's I don't know, we have created some myths in our mind that the this is a very tough thing to do. But I had the same thinking a year ago, but now it has completely changed because the fear was there. But open source is not that hard. You just have to keep be consistent. Okay, so just be consistent. That's the main you can say mantra for contributing to open source. Chinmay, Seema, you are an amazing tutor. Please tell us how you edit videos. Thank you, Chinmay. Okay, so I edit my videos in this laptop. It's not much compatible with editing some videos, but I just use Filmora and that's it. I keep my videos simple because I need to work also. So I find some time to shoot and edit my videos on the weekends. So that's it. Because now with the job, I don't have much time to focus on YouTube, but I do that on weekends. Kishle is asking which programming language is best for CP. Currently, I know only Java. Should I learn? Okay, so that was also a question uh, I had in my mind a few months ago that I should start learning competitive programming because I saw a lot of people doing that. So I researched about that and I found out that if you are working in a programming language, let's say he is working in Java already, so don't switch to any other language. Stick to one. That's it. I know C++ is best, but that's okay. You don't need to learn everything from the start. So stick to only one programming language. Yes, Devesh, you are absolutely correct. It only depends on the need. That's it. Okay, Anamika is asking, ma'am, could you please share your first open source contribution experience? Okay, so I got to know about a hackathon by GitLab. So I was just ready to take any challenges. So I did that and it was really, really confusing. Okay, so the platform of GitLab is quite confusing for me at that time. So what I did was I asked some of the already GitLab contributors on Gitter there is a platform called Gitter. So I asked them that how can I contribute, because I didn't know anything. Okay, so you can call me noob. So I just asked them. They were really helpful. In open source, you will find people who are ready to help you. So that's the best thing. Okay, so there was a few people that helped me, and after that, I got to know about a merge request on GitLab, and on GitHub it's pull request. So I contributed to the GitLab QA documentation, the official documentation. So there was a issue that was long pending. So I just did that, and that was a small contribution, but it was really good because they needed that issue to be resolved. So I did that, and it got merged. So yeah, that was about my first open source contribution. Okay, so Shreya is asking, I don't know anything about programming, but I want to learn it. Can you suggest me which language to start with? Okay. So personally, like every engineering student, I started with C. I hope you have already learned about C language. So, uh, okay. Okay, so I guess personally, I think C is really important because it clears our fundamentals. And then I moved to C++. Why? Because in C++, I got to learn about object-oriented programming. So these two programming language are really important for your fundamentals. You can also start with Python, but it is not preferable because C and C++ will really give you everything you need to know about all the fundamentals in any programming language. And after you learn about those two programming language, you can switch to any programming language. So the main thing about programming languages is the concepts. You must know about the concepts. Okay, so I would suggest C and C++. If not, Python is good, but it has not a good support on object-oriented side. So C++ is good for that. Okay, Anamika, what is Red Hat certification? So you must have heard about many companies providing certifications like Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and AWS. Uh, Similar to that, Red Hat is a company which provides some certifications. So a certification is like you have learned something, like you have learned let's suppose you have learned Python. Okay, and you uh, apply for a test, and then you qualify for that. So that's like a proof of your learning that you know Python language. But as you are all student, I don't really suggest you to go for that because doing these certification costs a lot of money. I don't regret doing that, but if at that time someone would guide me, so I wouldn't have done these certifications. So it's not important because after you get a job, the company will pay for your certification. And in companies, if I tell you that the people who are working in Red Hat, they don't prefer certifications. Okay, and in IBM, I asked my senior, so he suggested me that don't go for certifications, do the projects and work with clients. So certifications is not important. Matters, switching to any programming language because C++ and Java are both the best language for CP. So if you want to, then you can definitely switch to C++. That's not a problem. Yes, Devesh is right. That's okay, because if you start typing, that takes a lot of time. And if you have never spoke, so that will be really good if you start speaking here. So um, just start getting out of your comfort zone. That's it. Seema, could you tell about how can we do documentation in GitHub? Um, in what sense you're talking about documentation? You mean how to write documentation? Okay, so you must, maybe you have heard about Markdown. So documentation is written in Markdown. Um, how you can write that? There are a few websites that can teach you the basic syntaxes of Markdown. So that's how you can start. And also, if you want to really uh, write a good documentation, to explore the various open source projects. Okay, so you can just start exploring GitHub, and there are, I mean, a lot of repos have written that. And also look on the official projects like Linux, Python, Ansible, Kubernetes, React. Uh, so there are a lot of official projects. So you can also look to that. Git is also there. Yeah. So do check their documentation, how they have written, what is the flow of that documentation. Because open source contributions, because the source code can be really long, so you have to maintain your project. So that's the most important part, because you can't just upload every file in a zip format. Okay, so you the project should, not should, must be organized. Okay, so I would love if you all start some open source project on GitHub and invite some contributors. And there are a lot of programs that are going on, so you can apply for your project on that, and there will be a lot of students who will be excited to contribute to that.
Seema, I just want to ask, what's the difference between free softwares and open source softwares? And if we just contribute our code to some community or something like that, so is there any issue of licensing or ownership?
uh, there was a lot of noise. I couldn't hear you properly.
Okay, now you can hear me? You can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was asking, what's the difference between free softwares and open source softwares? And if someone is contributing to open source community, is there any issue related to ownership or something like that, copyright?
If you say see that every project has some license. Okay, so before using the project, so do check the license. So mostly the license that is used is MIT license. So that means you can redistribute it and you can use that project. But if you see any other license, so you must check that what this license has, so what it says. So that's really important, because I participated in one hackathon, and one of the team just downloaded a project from GitHub, and the people who have made that project claimed that this is already our project. So that was the issue, and they were disqualified from the hackathon. So,
Okay, if it happens that they have downloaded the project, but if they add few lines to that code and rename that code on their ownership, is that be okay or is that something different?
uh, I guess yes, it will be fine, but I'm not really sure. I haven't done that, so not sure.
Well, because we take reference from the open source projects, and basically, what's an idea is to add some lines to get in knowledge from already existing code, and we're just doing research on that, and then we used to do some contribution to it. So according to me, I think there should not be any issue if we add or we just some lines from that we just change something and we can rename it with from our side, because we also do the research, we also publish the research papers, and we take the references from various research papers, and then we do some
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, copying the same thing. It's
We can
yeah.
do that, but I'm not really sure because I haven't done that, so I can't say.
Okay. Thanks, Seema.
Anyone having any questions, you can ask to Seema. She will answer every question from you. You can also write it on chat box, but it will be better if you ask to her by keep owning your mic. It will be better. Please ask if you have any queries.
Seema, I'm having one question. Apart from this open source topic, may I ask?
Sure, sure.
Seema, there is a gap between Tier 1 and Tier 2 and Tier 3 colleges. So, how, as a Tier 3 student, I get what I do so that I will be in the same level to with my friend who is in Tier 1 college?
Okay. So I am from Tier 3. So there is the difference between the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 is that Tier 1 have the opportunities that they are already discussing about open source and GSOC and everything in their first year. But in my college, we were not really aware of these things. Okay, so we just learned about the subjects, that's it. We gave the examination, cleared that, that's it. So the main difference is this, because they have already their seniors that have worked on that. So that's all about the exploring and the opportunities part. So what you can do is try contacting some communities, be a part of some communities that are already working. Do research on Google that what are the things that we can do. Okay. Isn't it? Okay, so I guess that's the main thing. Participate in hackathons. Uh, if you see what things that Tier 1 people are doing. So main is GSOC. I don't know. The boom of GSOC is really high. So everyone wants to get into GSOC or be a part of the GSOC program, and you can also do that. And that's not an issue. They don't look for the tier 3 or tier 1 or tier 2. They just look for your experience, what you have done in open source communities, what you have done for that organization. Okay, so if you want to be the part of GSOC next year, because there is very less time, but you can what you can do is you can start learning or maybe contributing to that these organizations. So after a few days, the organization list will be available on the GSOC website. You can explore everything. And if you, let's suppose you like JavaScript, so there is a filter on GSOC that will show the list of projects that include JavaScript in their project. So explore that. Uh, Stick to one or maybe two or three projects and start contributing to that. At least start exploring that project, and next year you can easily be the part of GSOC. And also apart from that, you can just start writing blogs that will improve your documentation part too. um, Whenever you write your code, do follow the clean code approach. That means uh, use a good variable name that will explain it works, how it works and what it does. And do commenting on your code, or and other than that, participate in hackathons. So how you can participate in hackathons? So there is MLH, Major League Hacking. So just start exploring their website. I think there is a hackathon happening every single day or every single week. So if you do some project, you can get swags too. You can get stickers or T-shirts, or if you may win the hackathon, so you will get a lot of goodies. So that is the most motivation for us as students. So we get these things, we get really happy. So that's how you can maybe this is a source of motivation, so you can use that too. Other than that, if you start these things, uh, make some online presence, so you are visible to many people, and you will definitely find some opportunity, because I find my first opportunity for a conference talk last year. I just wrote a blog, and they invited me for the conference talk. So it was just a sudden plan. So you have to do many things, but you will face the burnout. But that's okay. You must take breaks. I took a lot of breaks, so that's okay. Taking break is not really bad, and yeah, you must do something different from others too. um
Seema, how you start blogging?
okay, any other question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how to start blogging. I have a community called Bash Women Community. We had our first event as the blogging ninja, that was to motivate people to write blogs. And there were a lot of people that I mean, that was their first time of writing any blog. And one of the position was Priya Mondal. So it was her first blog, and that was really good. And this is quite similar to my story. When I wrote my first blog, I was also the first. I was also at the first position, and my blog was also published in Analytics with their publication on Medium. So you don't. The main thing about doing things is that you have to believe in yourself that you can do it. And if not, that's okay. That will be a learning part. So thing that had keep me going is that I don't care. I have accepted that if I fail, that will be the best thing, because failure teaches us more than success. So that's kind of the thing.
Seema, how I can join your community?
Okay, let me share that. This is the GitHub repository for the community, and there is already a Discord server link, so you can join that. Blog. Wait. So this was my first blog. Yeah. And when I write any blog, so I have wrote a blog for Red Hat website too. So whenever I write anything, I don't know how it works, but music be able to write any blog, I guess.
Seema, we have
Yes.
Seema, we we
Your voice is breaking.
Seema, I just want to ask, what you would suggest for the students according to the curriculum? They're having minor projects and the major projects, and students used to lag in such areas because, first of all, it's very much difficult for them to choose a topic. They don't know what topic they
Okay.
should decide to program, and and also they lag in the guidance. I think from our side also, as a teacher's point of view, and they don't openly ask, or there's something certainly. So I think these are the basic areas which they need to work before they are being confident to participate in hackathons or something. So I just want to know your suggestion.
Okay, so the main thing is about the, what do I say, major and minor project. So you can do some internship there. They will obviously work. You will work on some project, and that's really a traditional thing that we do in BTech, that we do an internship and there we work on some project and we submit that project. That's how it works. But if you want to do something else, so what you can do is, if you, the main thing about making some project is work on real world projects. So right now, if I check my Twitter, so there are lots of project that people are doing that is related to the real world problems. So if you are facing some issue in anything like let's suppose YouTube doesn't have some specific feature and you want that, for that you can make a Chrome extension. So I know it's hard to just start some project, but start with something small and make that project big. Okay, so uh, I guess I have cleared that. Chinmay is asking, Seema, you are working as an associate engineer in IBM. Could you tell me how one can work in IBM? What basic skills do we need to do it? Okay, so I got this was a pool campus. So I was the only one in my college to get a job in IBM. So I will release the interview experience video in my channel maybe next week. So there are a lot of things. I will explain everything. But for now, what happened in my interview was, whatever was in my CV, they just asked that. uh, they just wanted to know that what I have wrote in my CV, that must be right, and that you are not faking or anything, that you are really uh, good in these technologies. So that's what they asked. And whatever interview I have done, so they never asked me about any coding. So that was a relief for at that time, because I was not into coding. And they never asked me about any DSA problem or DBMS or networking. So yeah, they just completely focused on the development part that I did. They wish I'm not from Jaipur. I studied there. I'm from Haryana, and I know Vimal Daga sir. Yes, yes. My college is in Jaipur.
Seema, I think all doubts are cleared. And means from your presentation and the way you are clearing our doubts is so awesome. Really, my all doubts are cleared, and the way you explained is also awesome. So now I would like to welcome Chinmay.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Anamika.
much, Anamika.
Thank you so much, Seema. It was a wonderful time with you, and you gave the every vital and essential info about open sources. And the people who belongs to EC branch like me can also get the benefit of the open sources. And it was a pleasure having such a tech savvy girl like you. Hashtag bash woman. And I think we will conduct uh, some more session like this, which will be p- profitable for us. And it was a great time that we have you in this session. Thank you so much, Seema, for having us with you.
Thank you so much. And if you are really afraid of learning any programming language, let me tell you, many of my friends were from EC branch, so, and they are working in IT sector, so that's not really a problem. So even if you are a civil engineer, so that's not a problem. If you really want in a career in coding, so that's what it needs. So uh, yeah, it it's not about the branch you are in. It's more about you, what you want to learn.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much, Seema.
thanks, Seema. Thanks, Chenmay. Thanks, Anamika. And Seema, thanks for accepting the invitation. And
Always.
and for delivering a very informative and a wonderful session for our students. And I hope in the future also you will guide them as been they require or they have some doubts in the future prospects. Also, I wish from my side and the student side also
Absolutely.
for your bright future and career ahead in IBM.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
One thing,
Mhm.
one thing, when I was a student, I used to be really curious. I am now. I mean, from the very childhood, I was also curious, but till my 12th, so I was so afraid. I don't know why. I used to be an introvert. I am an introvert, but the things that have changed while in college was the confidence. So how it changed was, the group, or the people you are in. Okay, so you must have good friends. So that's and also I used to, I don't know, uh, I used to be like the person who used to ask many questions, and my faculties were not really happy about that. A few of the faculties. So I used to question a lot, and I guess you need to do that.
Well, Seema, I guess you are the best student. You're definitely a best student. I also like the students who used to ask the question. It's, I just believe that unless and until students don't ask the questions, they don't have the curiosity to learn.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
and and
In our
I think
Sure, sure.
there are some students who are having questions in their mind or something, but they hesitate to ask. What do you think?
Yes, yes, yes. Even if your question is stupid in your own mind, let's just suppose you are asking to the faculty, you must not be afraid that your question is stupid or what will your friends will think of. Just ask. Even if they laugh, that's okay. You laugh with them. That's the main thing. At least you asked and they were just laughing. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, I used to have same issues when I was also doing my engineering.
okay.
I like your point that you suggested that selection of good circle is very much important in
Yes, yes,
the student point of view.
yes.
Also, selection of
Because
a
I
good
have,
teacher also.
yes, exactly. So there were all kinds of students in my class. So I know every kind of people. So I was also a backbencher. I used to sleep in my classes, but I know what were the things that are going on in my class. So whenever my teacher asked me that what it is, so I used to answer that because I already know that thing. So I don't know how it works, but
Well, Seema, I just also want to tell that I don't believe this tier one, tier two, or tier three, whatever.
exactly,
It's okay. I
I
don't
don't.
believe in these things. It's all about how how a student get motivation, what skills it requires to learn something. At least we must provide an environment to the students for learning. Also, it's very much from there, and also that what kind of circle or what kind of teacher are they curious to learn something or
Yes,
not. They must
yes, yes,
select these things. And Seema, I just want to tell you, as I'm just part of my college, most of the students, I just feel that they are lazy, they are sleepy, especially seniors. They're not participating in activities. They're not indulging in the activities they don't take. Juniors also to that. That this thing I have
uh,
learned. Add them in their group. So I think that makes them into tier three. Actually, they are not a tier three person or whatever.
yes,
If you are not been
yes,
you're not looking to approach something, that you will be set into tier 3 or tier 2, whatever. So Seema, that's a basic concept. Actually, I just invited you here. I want you to deliver a lecture on open source. Let them understand what exactly it is, also understand what they need to do in their life ahead, because basically our
yes.
participants are the first year students. They have a long journey to go. So I think this they should learn.
Yes, okay. In my college days, I normally what students do is they just blame their college. So my college is not providing this. My college is not organizing events. They are not doing this. But as a student, what we can do is we can take the initiative. Okay, so my college was not that good. I mean, there were not a single community. So what I did was I started my own community, but students there were not interested, so I dropped that idea. So I was so sad that I am trying to change the college environment and they are not supporting that. So the main thing is that you should be surrounded by the like-minded people. So that's also important. And tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 are just a concept in India, not in other countries. So I don't believe in that right now. So even if you see some YouTube videos that he or she got a job in Amazon or Google, and she or they were in tier 3. So I don't think that really matters to mention that they were in tier 3. All colleges are same in India, I guess. IITs are pretty same, I guess. It's all about your curiosity. That's it.
So Seema, that's for on the same concept we are working on Giggsy, and I must thank to Anamika and Chinmay. They are first year students of my college, and
That's amazing.
they are very ambitious, curious, and very enthusiastic students to learn. And this all event, all things has been organized by them, and they are also motivating other students to join and to be a participant.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
in such kind of sessions, and also they will get some good environment at there and also in their college.
Yes, yes. After these sessions, do discuss with your friends that what happened in the session. So they will be really curious that I may have missed something. So uh, yeah, they should know that they have missed something. So
Sure, Seema, I will discuss to them.
just start discussing. Like we have learned this and this. I don't know. So yeah, that's the thing. Hmm.
Okay, host, anything from your side you want to ask Seema, or someone else want to ask anything?
So I think all doubts are clear. So let's end the session. Thank you so much for the wonderful session.
Thank you so much. I hope that I have helped you in any way. So thank you so much. And if you are really shy to ask a question right here, I mean right now, so you can connect me on my socials. So that's okay. I will reply to you. But don't say just hi. So I don't reply to such texts. Just ask your question. That's it. Because I receive a lot of texts, so I'm not really free to reply to all. So do um, tell me the reason why you have texted me. Okay, I will definitely reply.
Thanks a lot, Seema. Can we have people camera on so we can have a photo session?
Don't be shy.
Thanks a lot, student. Thank you, Seema.
They are doing makeup.
Yeah, might be.
In IBM, it is very friendly over there. So we used to have a fun. Like my training is going on, so my managers are really friendly. So there is no sir or ma'am. So that's I don't really prefer saying sir or ma'am. So yeah, in industry, when you start working in industry, so there is no concept of sir or ma'am. So that's why I stopped using it.
Yeah, that's professionalism.
Yes, yes, but don't use it with your faculties. That is not appropriate.
Well, backdoors they can. Okay, thanks a lot, Seema. Host, please greet Seema. Any last words for this session? Definitely, we will connect her again.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Seema.
so much, Seema, for spending your precious time with us. and we all know that you are having the training with your job, but it was so good that you have gave the your precious time here, and it really means a lot to me and all the amazing ones who have joined this session, and you gave the very much valuable knowledge about everything, especially about the open sources. Thank you so much, Seema. That's all I
Thank you
want to
so
say.
much, and my you will be a great speaker soon. So that shows that you are confident, and Anamika too. So
Thank you
that's
so
good.
much, Seema. It's a big
You are also amazing. Really. The way you guide us is awesome.
Thank you so much, Anamika. Means a lot.
Thanks, Seema. Thanks, host. Thanks, other participants who have joined this session.
Thank you so much, everyone, for hearing me.
No, you are very good, Seema.
I hope so. I am improving every single day, so improvement is already always there. So
Yeah, that's a good lesson for others also who are just listening this.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
In tech or in any other profession, we can't stop learning. So
Well, Seema will share the recording with you and other participants also.
sure. Thank you so much for inviting me, and Anamika and Shinva, you were really a wonderful host. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Okay. Thanks all. Take care.
Yeah. May the source be with you. So, okay. Should I leave?
Yeah, sure. You can, Seema. Thank you again.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Welcome.